Love, love, love till I feel the breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello, welcome to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine Lee, and our guest is Josie Di Mauro. Hi, Josie.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to our show. And I hear you've had an interesting faith journey. In a sense, there was something that happened that was quite different. I'm very interested to know what happened.
Well, if we start from the beginning, my family background is Italian. So on paper, we are Catholic. Had all the sacraments and everything like that, but went to a Catholic school and basically came out an atheist.
Right.
Still believed in God, but that was the long and the short of it. I went to weddings and I went to funerals, and that was about the only exposure I ever had.
How does someone become an atheist? I'm always fascinated to know.
Well, on paper, atheist. I still believed in God, but I just didn't know anything about my faith at all.
It just didn't cross your brain to think about God?
No.
Even though you were in a church. So you did all the motions or go to prayers?
All motions, yeah.
But it just never made you think about it. It was just like brushing your teeth or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's right. It was never weekly mass or anything like that. My family never went, so I didn't either.
But at the Catholic school, you would have had to do regular prayer and regular...
Actually, no, not really.
Not at the school you were?
No.
So it was born by name?
It was by name, yeah. So on paper, when I went into a church, I could go to communion.
Because you knew how to?
Yeah, because I'd done it once before. So, and then when I was about 18... when I was about 12, we moved to Doncaster from Kew, which is where we grew up. And when I was in secondary school, again came out an atheist. And my neighbour, who is very religious, her mum was talking to her daughter and myself and said, why don't you come and join the choir? So they had a meeting before the choir practice, and that was looking for people to be, I'm trying to think of the name of the word, parent couples for a group called Antioch. So having listened to the two people that came to speak about Antioch, I was excited about it and decided to join them.
Oh, so from the choir, then you went on to Antioch.
Yeah, but I never joined the choir. My voice was terrible at that stage. So went to Antioch, and that's when I actually started going to regular masses, like to weekly masses, and that got me used to it. And then when I left Antioch, about 3 or 4 of us joined this group called the Confraternity of St. Michael.
I see.
And yeah, it was being led by a priest. We'd say rosary beforehand. I hadn't said a rosary ever, so that was a bit interesting. And the priest would go through the history of the church or the catechism of the Catholic faith, and that's when I learnt about my faith.
Yeah, but what kept you at Antioch and then the confraternity? There was something
it was the friendship and the fellowship and knowing that you had friends.
You didn't have experience of God at that stage. It was more community sense.
Yes.
You joined it because you felt you belonged to something.
It was great to have friends and to have people that supported you. Antioch is very good that way. They, like on their weekends that they have once or twice a year, they have letters, they call them palankas, that are sent by people that love you.
That's nice.
That give you encouragement, and I'd never had that. So it was something that was totally new to me and really enjoyed it.
Yes.
But then from there, once I got to 23, it starts at 16 at Antioch. I felt a bit old, so myself and a couple of others started searching for something different, and that's where we found the confraternity. They left, I kept on going, and that's when I actually had my conversion.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I started believing in God, tried to get to daily mass, would go to, go and spend time with the Lord in the Blessed Sacrament. It was great. Yeah.
Yes, and was there something about the confraternity that made you, when you use the word conversion, what do you mean by that?
I just all of a sudden had an...
It's more from the head to the heart, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I knew it in my head before, but then it came to my heart, and I found it quite easy to spend time in front of the Blessed Sacrament communicating with God. and loved when we had retreats and loved when we were doing all manner of things.
So what do you mean by the Blessed Sacrament? What does that mean?
Well, the Eucharist. As a Catholic, I believe that the Blessed Sacrament, for people that are Christians, they call it the bread, when the blessing is brought down on it, that it's God. So yeah, I could spend time and time and time, and I loved it.
It's a piece of bread, a flat bread.
Yes, yeah. So it was great. Yeah, and
so
it really, I found myself at that stage. I was about 25. Yes. So.
And then what happened from there?
From there, I became, I guess, inflamed with the Spirit. So I started organising events and in '97 I heard about this event called World Youth Day. Having never been overseas before, I thought that it was a great idea to try and go. So organised fundraising for people to go, including our priest that was the head of the confraternity, and we ended up with 21 people and went to World Youth Day in France, which was amazing. Again, and then just more and more and more. I organised balls, I organised retreats, organised lots of things.
And you did that for many years?
I did, yeah, for about 8 years.
Oh, that's pretty full on.
Yeah, especially when you're working full time.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So,
and what, when you had that conversion experience, did you rest and deepen your faith? Did you have a long journey of, I suppose you could call it formation? You know, some people come to God and then they need to, I've heard it said that it's like you catch the fish and you got to clean it and form it and, that sort of thing. Did you have much of a period of that time?
Yeah, well, the meetings, the confraternity meetings were every Wednesday. So basically every week I would be going to something, and all of my friends became the confraternity friends, and I met other people in the wider Catholic community, which was fantastic. It was great meeting people, and when this was back in the times when George Pell was our Archbishop.
Yes, I heard about George Pell.
Yes.
We're going to continue after the break. You are watching The Spirit of Life. We're just going for a break now. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine Lee, and our guest is Josie Di Mauro. Welcome, Josie. Welcome back to the show. And you were sharing about how you went through Antioch and then the confraternity
of St. Michael.
Yes, and then that sort of started you in the formation of your faith.
Yes.
So what happened to you after you came to God and then you started serving God for what you were saying, maybe 8 years? 8 years?
Approximately,
Yeah,
yes.
So how was that like for you?
It was great. At the time, my full-time job was very unfulfilling, so I needed to be able to have something to inspire me. So the only thing that really inspired me was my faith and organising events. So I started organising balls, and I did organise a couple of retreats and also a conference. Wow. And it's all going to be, for me, it was always something that I was really passionate about. So when it was the balls, it was all about, youth and bringing youth together, because it hadn't been done for a long time. And it gratifies me that I see a lot of other groups now doing the same.
Yes.
So I don't need to do it anymore. I pass the baton on.
So from those conferences and things, what would happen? Would people get matched up, or what kind of things would happen?
I think people met. I don't know if any marriages came out of it. There were more marriages that definitely came out of the confraternity of St. Michael. There were hundreds. Oh, wow. Hundreds of them. But you must understand that it had been going a long time by the time I got there. And then when George Pell became Archbishop, and Catholic Youth Ministry sort of broadened its nets, we sort of and that's when I started organising events also for them. Like I would organise the balls, and I would
for
do
the youth.
well, not for them, but I would get their assistance in telling people about it and everything like that. It was a wonderful time. It was a really wonderful time.
And could you tell me a bit more about the confraternity? What's its main mission?
The main mission at the time, Father Byrne was basically trying to fill the gaps for the people that, like me, had gone to Catholic schools, not been taught about their faith or really experienced anything to do with faith.
Past the school age.
Yeah, past the school age. So his group was open to anybody that was interested in learning their faith. Right. So we did the history of the church, we did the catechism,
type things.
And it was wonderful. Yeah, it was really good to actually get a full knowledge of your faith. That you never really, I mean, in the school years you couldn't really do that. You didn't have that much time. But every Wednesday we would go through a chapter and it would be great. We would go into it, ask questions. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Can people still join it, and how do
No,
they?
it stopped quite a few years ago when
All these
Catholic
groups
Youth Ministry
developed.
sort of took over and started actually filling the void. 6:30 was basically born after the 2000 World Youth Day that I assisted.
To start the 6:30 adoration of the
Well,
Eucharist.
I wasn't the one that started it, but I was there in the beginning. So, yeah, there were a lot of people that were involved in that, but yeah.
So they go to that and then they get formation.
Well, they get time with God, and then people will actually do their advertisements, you know, for the people that actually go there, and it's a real good community.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
And so what happened after you've doing all the balls and things? Are you still involved in that?
Not so much now. I like to think of myself as someone that is very good at starting things, and you know, after I had organised balls, then there were two guys that started doing it for people to meet each other. Then the Vinnie's Youth Ball started, and I understand that the Disciples of Jesus also organised one.
Yes.
So a lot of people have now sort of taken up the baton, so I don't need to anymore. So I'm happy for them to do it, and they have backing. Back in the days when I did it, it was basically me funding everything.
Wow.
Funding all of it. So, you know, if you didn't get enough people, I would be up for losing money, which wasn't great. But it was still wonderful. And, you know, it was good times had by all. Like, I got a lot of photos and good stories from people that actually met through things that I'd organised, which is great.
Do you think, like, people do a lot of ministry like you did and also work at the same time? Is there a degree of exhaustion or burnout that can happen? Yes, and unfortunately with me it did. It did happen once I got to about 38. Yes. And yeah, it just got too much. I started working, at the time I was working at a pathology company in accounts receivable, and then at about 40 I thought to myself, okay, what do I really want to do with my life? It's like you were doing so much sacrificing, you were putting your life on hold, is that what you would say? Sort of, but it was like the fulfilment. Because I wasn't inspired in my work, I wanted to be inspired elsewhere, and my faith inspired me. Yes. So. Oh, it's great that you did all that. Yeah, yeah. It was good times, but yeah, after a while you get tired and you slow down a bit. You're going through your resting period. Yes. They say that. I heard this priest talk about, you know, we go through different phases. There's somewhere in Ecclesiastes, time for resting, time for love, time for. So it might be your resting time. Do you think? Yes, I think it is. I mean, it's not that I've totally stopped myself from doing things. I still go to weekly mass. I sing in a choir, and if there are events that I'm really passionate about, I'll go to them. But on the whole, I'm just sort of taking a nice big step back. No more daily mass and rushing here, there, and everywhere in order to do things on top of what I already do. Yeah, well, it says that I know some people find it hard to rest because they think God might not love me or people might not love me because I'm not doing enough. Maybe yours could be a real strong faith that you could rest comfortably without feeling, you know, that you have to do something to earn God's love or other people's love. No, I always believed that God loves me unconditionally. It doesn't matter what I did. But for me, I found that it was... what's the right way to put it? It's
I think I just needed. He knew that I needed to rest. He just knew I
that's
needed to
good.
rest, so
Yeah.
I did.
On that note about breaks, we're going to have to go for a break now.
Okay.
You're watching Spirit of Life. We'll be back after the break.
Blow till I feel much breath of the Spirit blowing in me. Blow, blow, blow till I feel much breath of the Spirit blowing in me.
Hello, welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Geraldine Lee, your host, and our guest is Josie Di Mauro. Hi, Josie. Welcome
Hi.
back.
Thanks.
You were sharing about your passion was, helping and serving many groups, youth groups, and putting on Holy Hour and conferences or helping out with it. So, what's your passion now?
Well, my passion is very much, and as it always has been, it's about where I'm at in my life. So, as a single woman, my passion has always been with the singles that are sort of over a certain age that aren't really covered by the Archdiocese and groups that are around. So.
Yes, you seem to have a mission to fill the gaps, isn't it? When there's something not there, you'll have it, which takes energy to actually start something, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
But
Yes.
that's a gift in that. Yeah. So at this stage, with that passion, is there something that you feel brewing in you to do?
Well, I find it. I find sometimes I doubt myself in what I can do for people, but when I hear other people talking about areas that I have got a passion for, say for example, Father Paul Newton was talking about the possibility of organising things for singles and stuff. That excited me. I thought, okay, I'd love to be able to help. So when it comes to things like that, I definitely would want to be on board and helping out.
Oh, that's
But maybe
good.
not starting myself anymore.
Yes,
But yeah,
maybe
certainly
with a team.
assisting.
Maybe
Yeah,
with a team.
definitely,
Yeah, so
yes.
before you were doing things quite by yourself, a lot of them?
Yes, yeah, 90% of the time.
Oh, 90, that's a lot. The
Yeah.
team, it's very powerful having a team.
True. But
There
I
are
found
its
I got
costs.
more done. I got more done when it was just me, though.
Yes, there are its costs because you
Yeah.
have to work, I suppose, with community or work
True.
with different characters and try and fit in with them.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
So, and you got some activities that you're thinking of that you can do with the singles with Father Newton.
Well, we haven't discussed it yet. So he just mentioned something, and I said, well, I have a book that I've written down a few ideas that I've had in the past that I said I would bring over to him, and maybe we can discuss a few of the ideas that are in there.
Ah, that's good.
So, yeah.
And I hear you've been going to the singles conference a couple of times. What did you
Yeah.
get out of it?
This year, last year was easier because I was able to be there for the full conference. This year, unfortunately, I had to work until Saturday afternoon, so I did miss a fair amount of it. But the biggest thing I actually got from the conference is the knowledge that you have to have self-love, and that's a really big thing for me. It's, you have yourself in a certain place and you don't understand why. But self-love, I think, is going to be the answer for my personal journey as well. Yeah.
And self-love, I remember Father Paul talking because I was at the conference
Yes.
too. I think it's like self-care, isn't it? Caring
Well, that's
for yourself.
right, yeah. I'm very much a giver, as evidenced by the things that I used to do. But yeah, I don't leave a lot in reserve for myself, and that's the thing. I'm always about give. Never been a taker, so
Yes.
sometimes the brakes have to go on and say,
They
okay,
do.
take care of yourself now.
And I liked a talk I listened to that said that, if you're in an aeroplane, they often say if you've got a child, you've got to put the mask on first before you start helping everyone else.
True. To me, that sort of feels wrong, but there
feels
you
wrong,
go.
huh?
As a travel agent, that's hard to say, but there you
Because
go.
if you didn't put the mask on, you'd collapse while helping the person.
Yes, well, that's true. Yes, I know.
Me coming from a nursing background, I know that within a few minutes you'd be gone.
Yeah, of course, of course. You know it in your head, but still your heart
so
tells you
you've a
something
tendency.
different.
Well, that could be an exciting thing for you now, having that self-care and serving at the same time, because then you wouldn't suffer the exhaustion or burnout if you're caring for yourself.
True, true. Yeah, just how to get to that point is going to be the way to go at this stage. Once I work that out, there'll be no stopping me again.
And your occupation?
I'm a travel agent.
So maybe, have you thought that maybe travel and singles work could
Yes.
sort of coincide?
Yes, I have been brewing through a few ideas about that. So, yeah, stay tuned to this channel for that.
What about the Love Boat?
Well, I had an idea last year that it would be nice to actually have a conference on a boat. Unfortunately, the numbers didn't happen, and it was the first time I'd tried to organise something like that. But I have lots of ideas, and I also have lots of priest friends that are interested in coming along on things that I organise. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, perhaps you can advertise about your singles conference on the boat next time. A cruise could be very nice.
Well, yeah, it would be nice.
Definitely.
A little more expensive than normal, though.
Yes, but you know, singles being singles, they have more money, wouldn't they? If they're working, that is.
Oh, that's true. True.
Yes. And what about your family? Are they people of faith too?
No one in my family practices their faith. I'm the only one. So they do have a belief in God, just not like me. So still weddings and funerals. That's about the size of it.
Yes, and is that painful for you? You know,
It's
having
difficult.
different values.
It's difficult. You know, when your brother tells you about he's gone out and picked up a girl, and you cringe. So, yeah.
Yes, I suppose that's what quite a lot of people do, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, that's today's society, unfortunately.
Yes.
Doesn't bring true happiness. So.
Yes. But I suppose you're praying heaps for them.
Absolutely. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're going to get them to watch this program.
I'll try. I'll try.
You'll get some good messages.
Well, we hope. We can always hope and pray for that.
Yes.
But we see.
Yeah. And well, I really thank you for the time, and I hope you can come back on our program for maybe about the Love Boat or singles thing.
Okay.
And so goodbye, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
You've been watching Spirit of Life. Hopefully we'll have Josie back in a few weeks' time, maybe. But goodbye, and God bless you.